and welcome to NameHero.com. Today we're going to talk about WordPress security and a free plugin that you can use to help keep your WordPress website safe and secure. So at NameHero, I would say 98% of our customers, if not 99% of them, use WordPress in some capacity or another. So at least most of all of our customers have at least one install of WordPress somewhere along the line, even if it's just to test a new page design or just to test the platform and how it works with their website. So at NameHero, we've specifically designed all of our hosting packages to work very well with the WordPress software. And of course, if you're watching this video, it's likely you're already familiar with WordPress, but WordPress is the largest content management system in the world, and it is free and open source. And that's why so many people love it, because it's an open source community, so a lot of different people contribute to it. And because of this, they've actually turned what was just like the simple blogging platform into this tremendously big content management system. I personally recommend it for small businesses and large businesses alike. And so whether you're just a one-man shop operating a local mom and pop store, or you're just an individual starting a blog, or maybe you're a company and you're trying to get your products out there, WordPress is an excellent solution because it saves you time and money, because you don't have to worry about knowing how to code a web page to have a beautiful looking website. I've watched it catapult several entrepreneurs into having really nice businesses because they're able to create a professional, good looking website that they can update daily and manage daily and don't have to worry about a web developer. And it saves countless dollars, because really, who wants to go out and spend $5,000-$6,000 for a web design and development process when you can just install WordPress for free, add a nice looking template, customize it, and then have your website. I don't know about you, but to me, it's a no-brainer. And my last 20 years of working online, I've always looked for ways to be able to lower that barrier to entry, and I think WordPress does that. With all that said, right now on your screen, I've got our WordPress hosting packages up here. And these are geared towards individuals and small businesses and even large businesses. You can notice each one of our packages, we recommend how many visits are suitable for each package. Now, this depends on some things, depending on how many plugins your website is using, how many database calls, and all that could affect it. But generally speaking, the amount of monthly visits is pretty accurate. So I know if you're just an individual starting a blog, you start the starter and then you go on up as you see fit. The good thing about hosting with us here at NameHero is everything is on the cloud, meaning that you can start the starter cloud and you can easily move to the business cloud by just doing the upgrade inside of our interface. There's no downtime or anything like that. We can scale you up automatically, and we can also scale you down. If you get a big burst of traffic and need to go up to business cloud, then you can go back down to starter cloud once the traffic subsides. Also, if you go outside of the 100,000 visitors a month, then we can take you over to a VPS. And there is a little bit of a transfer process in that, moving from our this managed infrastructure over to the VPS, but still it's not that big of a deal. Our technicians do that with no downtime. Okay, all that said, I want to talk about WordPress security. So we know WordPress is a fantastic piece of software, and I've highlighted much of the features that I like about it. But also, because it is open source, it can be a security risk. Unfortunately, since open source means that everyone can see the code, that means the bad guys can too, right? And anytime there's a piece of software that's open source and is distributed as much as WordPress, there is bad guys that want to do malicious things. So your job as a webmaster is to keep your site protected. So some good general practices are keeping a secure login, using a hard password. Don't use your name as the password. Use passwords with uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters. Keeping WordPress updated. 99.9% of the people that have security issues are running an old version of WordPress, or also an old template, an old plugin. So it's very important that every single day you keep this stuff updated. The good thing is nowadays inside the WordPress dashboard, it tells you you're out of date, update now, and you can update automatically. And so that's the best line of defense, is being proactive, is just keeping your site updated every single day, and then most of the time you have nothing to worry about. If you let those go a month, 2 months, 3 months out, then your site is vulnerable. That's why they release updates, because they're patching found security issues. With open source, there's of course going to be some security flaws somewhere along the line because it's open source. So that's why it's important to keep updated. So today, the Wordfence security plugin is something I want to talk about. Now, first off, it's important to know at NameHero, each night we scan your site. We scan all WordPress sites for malware, meaning that if you didn't keep something updated, which a lot of people still don't, and malware was injected to your site that could cause you harm, we scan your account every night, and if we detect it, we'll automatically remove it. So we'll remove the infected file, and a lot of times you can just upload a new fresh file and then you're good to go. But we do that to kind of proactively save your headache from that happening. But another line of defense is Wordfence. So right now I'm on their website, wordfence.com. And this is a 100% free plugin. However, they do have a premium version. So that's kind of how they make money, is they give you this free plugin, and then there's some additional features that you can purchase. I just personally recommend just going with the free one, seeing how it goes, and then if you need the additional features, you can always add it at a later date. This is the second plugin I install on all of my websites. First one's the Lightspeed Cache, because I want to get it fast, but then as soon as I get that set up, I go install Wordfence. One of the biggest things I like about Wordfence is as soon as I log into my admin area, or someone logs into my admin area, I get an email. So it lets me know, hey, so-and-so from this IP address is logged into your admin. So immediately, if it's some, random foreign country that I didn't give access to, I know, hey, I need to get in there and change my password. So that's one of my favorite features, but there's a lot more. So if I click on features on their website, you can see they've got the four main highlights here. They've got a firewall, they scan, they watch live traffic, and then they've got their tools. So they've got their web application firewall, which means if there's like a brute force attempt, meaning if someone's trying to do multiple logins to your admin area, it's going to block them. Real-time threat defense feed. So if they see a threat that comes into their database and sees you're going to have it, they're going to email you. They also email you if something's out of date, which is really important. They'll say, hey, you've got a plugin out of date or WordPress is out of date, fix it. Brute force attacks, we mentioned that. A brute force attack can take down an entire server. So it can not only take down you, it can also take down other people in the server. So brute force are very, very important to secure yourself from those. I don't think that a lot of people realize how serious brute force attacks are. And again, that is when someone is trying to do multiple logins to your admin area to interrupt traffic to your site. You can do country blocking countries that you're not expecting traffic from, maybe countries that are just there to do you harm. I don't want to call out specific countries because it just depends on the website, but there are certain types of websites where foreign countries that they're only visiting to cause it harm. Advanced manual blocking, so you can also manually block stuff too. So if you compare their plans, you can see they've got their free plan here, and it comes with the basics. So your web application firewall, your brute force attacks, manual blocking, malware scanner, which we do that too, blocked intrusions, Google crawl activity, bots and crawlers, logins and logouts, human visitors, repair files, monitor disk space, and get detailed IP info. So it gets like the basics. But then if you want some of this other stuff, such as the country blocking, the threat feed, the IP spam, spam advertise, cell phone login, like a two-factor, audit passwords, advanced comment filter, you have to add those on. So really, I recommend everyone get the free version. And if you start having some of these problems, if you say, well, is my site getting spam advertised? Is IP generating spam, or do I need a block country? Then you can add these features later through Wordfence. And I think you see it's $99 per year or less. And I don't know, the more licenses you buy, the cheaper it gets. So that's really not that expensive. But so if you do need these features, you can always add them later. So today I'm going to demonstrate installing the free version so you can see it. So to do this, I navigate to my admin area. So this is my demonstration account, and I'm using Reseller Hosting US today, /WP admin, and I log in, I get here. This is my home page, my back end of WordPress where I manage and do everything. So to install Wordfence, it's the same way as installing any other plugin for your site. If you've installed another plugin for your WordPress site, I know I've got several videos on our YouTube channel of me doing so. It's the same process. We're going to go over here to plugins, click installed plugins. At the top, click add new, or you can click add new on the left. And then we just type in Wordfence. So Wordfence, push enter. And you'll see it here. So, whenever I'm installing software, I like to look at the reviews, and I always recommend or try to recommend plugins with a very high star rating, because that's why if other people think they're good, then they are good. And my experience using Wordfence for a couple years now, I can tell you it's good stuff. It really will help your site out. So you can see this has 5 stars, 3,172 reviews, and over 1 million active installations. Okay, so this tells us that Wordfence is good stuff because it wouldn't have all this if it wasn't. So we're going to click install now. Just takes a second for it to download, unpackage, and then install on your account. Now, of course, you can always do this manually if you're old school. Sometimes I get old school and want to do it manually. Installed, and then I click activate, and it will activate Wordfence on my new blog, resellerhostingus.com. And again, this is the second plugin, or the second plugin I activate when I set up my site. Okay, the first time you run it, you've just installed Wordfence. Start by entering the administrator email address where you would like to receive security alerts for your site. And they also have an opt-in for their newsletter, and then they've got a tour. So I don't like newsletters, so I'm going to ignore that. Admin at resellerhostingus.com. That is my admin email. I'm going to click get alerted and start tour. So I'm going to walk you through with their tour here. So they've got the welcome, and I'm not going to read all this stuff. When you install it, you can definitely go through and read all this stuff you want to, but I'm just going to kind of highlight the important parts of this. So just the welcome. It's powered by them, all this stuff here. Learn how to use Wordfence. So the first thing it wants you to do is to start with a scan, because it wants to scan all your files and folders and to make sure you have no malware. So it knows when it's getting started with your site, if it's getting started with a problem, or if the problem comes afterwards. So that's a big thing. So Wordfence is more of a proactive tool, but it's going to reactively scan your site right now to make sure you're good. Once it gets all that, then it is going to regularly monitor your site. So then you have the firewall, the web application firewall. It actually filters out malicious sites. So it's going to look at like headers of the user agents coming in. If that stuff's malicious, it's going to block it. It also will let you know. It'll send you an email if it blocks a threat. I know we've had this several times on our blog at NameHero. We've had malicious people try to come at once to kind of send a DDoS, and it will actually block those. The brute force is another big one that it will block. So it's a lot of stuff that it will do there and let you know. Live traffic, so it shows you kind of an in-depth view of the live traffic hitting your site. It'll show you there's real traffic going to your site, and there's also malicious traffic. So it'll show you what's real, what's malicious, and that way you get a good, accurate representation of how many visitors your site's getting. And it kind of craps on Google Analytics a little bit, how it only shows you, it can't show you crawlers, RSS readers, blah, 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 but they can, which is true. So then IP blocking, we do this at NameHero, but again, this is going to add another layer of protection. You know, one thing I like to recommend is when you're looking at protecting a website, or WordPress specifically, look at it like when you're getting ready to dress to go out to the cold. Now, if it's a cold day, really cold day outside, you're going to start by putting on a shirt, right? You're going to have a regular shirt. Well, then you might put a fleece on over top of it. And then over top that fleece, you might put on a winter coat, because each one of those layers will add more warmth to your body, right? So the same with WordPress. One, you're going to host with us here at NameHero. We've already hardened and secured our servers, so you've got that layer of protection. We scan and remove malware nightly, so you've got that layer of protection. But then you go add Wordfence, you add another layer. And then, of course, we have our firewalls and Arbor DDoS protection and all that too. But the more layers you have, the more protected you are. Of course, keeping the site updated and doing preventative maintenance is just like getting a physical with the doctor. You know, you want to get checked up every year. You want to make sure your site's updated. So all this stuff together will create a safe infrastructure for your website. The more of the stuff you do, the safer your site is. So it audits it blocks IPs temporarily or permanently. It audits your passwords. You can do the cell phone sign in. We're getting into premium features now, so I'm going to end the tour. Excuse me. So let's just go to the dashboard now of Wordfence, so Wordfence dashboard, and it's going to show you all this stuff that is enabled. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to configure the web application firewall. So we're going to click here, and it's idle, so we need to activate it. So it needs to know our configuration. If you're hosting with us here at NameHero, we use Lightspeed or Lightspeed API, so it's going to detect that, and you just click continue. It wants me to download a copy of my htaccess, always good in case it messes up, and continue again because it's going to edit the htaccess. Installation successful. Your site is now protected to the fullest extent. Okay, so that is done. So now it's in learning mode. It's going to start learning your traffic, okay? So it's going to take it some time, give it a couple hours to learn your traffic, so then it's going to know more about it. And you've got all these rules here that are automatically enabled that you can unenable if you don't. Leave them checked unless you have any issues. Same with whitelist URLs. Leave everything default here until you run into any issues. So this is a firewall. Next, we want to do a scan. So I'm going to click on scan and click start a Wordfence scan. And this will start scanning the whole document structure, the whole file tree. And you can see some of it is just premiums. They kind of do that to get you to upsell you. But they're going to scan the files for known malware. That's the important thing. And again, at NameHero, we do that every night as well. But it's always good in case we miss a file. Sometimes, scanners are updated with different updates. Some scanners know different malware. So it's just another layer of protection, okay? And so then they've got some more. You see, look, there's a problem found here already with scanning old themes, plugins, and core files. So we'll see when that comes out. So that's going to scan it. Look here at these issues that are coming up. Plugin needs updated. The theme needs an upgrade. So, okay, look, these are issues that need to be fixed. So click here to update now. We need to upgrade the anti-spam, update plugins. Again, and this will force you. If you don't do it, it's going to email you every day until you do, and it gets really annoying. So we're going to return to plugins. Let's go to Wordfence. Go back to scan. Okay, okay, now it's gone. So now the theme catch responsive needs upgraded. Oh my gosh, look how outdated it is. See, this is big issues. So we're going to update it now. Click the themes, update themes. It has been updated. Return to themes. Okay, go back to Wordfence and scan. And now we should have no warnings. Congratulations, no security problems were detected. So now we've got a clean scan. Okay, now this is going to automatically scan your site. If you click scheduling, and I'm sorry, it's only available to premium. See, they're going to do that to us. But it's automatically going to schedule scans. Okay, so it will after it learns the site. It's not scheduled yet, but it will automatically scan it. And there's some options too for what scans it does and doesn't do. And of course, then they have the stuff for the premium members, which is what it is. These guys are good. They need to make money too, right? So the premium is out there. And I'm not discrediting the premium. I'm saying at the minimum, have the free version, right? At least have another line of defense on your sites. And there's other security plugins for WordPress. I personally really like Wordfence, though, because it saved my personal sites from malicious attacks. And again, it emails you when it does stuff, so you know. So if I'm to log out and log back into WordPress, it's going to send me an email. Hey, someone's in your admin area. And if it's me, I can just ignore it. But if it's not me, then I know. Okay, so that's the dashboard. We did the scanner. We did the firewall. The blocking. This will block IPs that come to your site that are malicious. So automatically do this. If you want to manually block it, you can enter it here, manually block IP. It will show you IPs that are blocked from logging in or IPs that they've even throttled. They're accessing the site too frequently. You have to remember when someone's accessing your site, they're not going to maliciously hit it across 20 pages almost instantaneously. If that happens, it's a bot, and so it's going to protect you from that. And it's also going to show you as it collects this information. So after a couple of weeks, you're going to see more information populated in here from threats that it has saved you from. Live traffic. It's going to show you if it's human, bot, or warning, or blocked. This is the new site, so I do not have any traffic to the site, but it will show it. If you show advanced filters, you can kind of drill this down even more. If it's a Google bot or is it a user ID, what kind of traffic is it? But again, there's no traffic right now on this site, so it's not showing anything. It is cool to watch, though, if you've got a blog or a WordPress site with traffic, to see this kind of start populating. You got the tools here. The password audit, which is only available to premium. So I think a lot of these are just available to premium. Whois lookup, so you can look up an IP or a domain. Self-in sign-in, this is premium. Diagnosis, you can see this is what it checks for, checking to see if it can write to these certain files. This is for the program of Wordfence, checking your MySQL, checking your config, checking your PHP. I've got 5.6 on here right now. Excuse me. And, just some other good stuff that you don't really have to worry about, but it is checking for you. Finally, we've got the options tab, which is our API key. Keep this in a safe place. This lets you upgrade to premium and all that, and as well as some additional options here that you can check. Some are premium features and such like that. So in a nutshell, that's Wordfence. Really, it's just plug and play. It's just about installing the plugin and then letting it do its thing. There's not really a lot of customization that needs to be done. If you're not going to do anything else to secure your website, at least do this, because I promise you, there's so many customers that I'll do this. Customers will watch this. They may or may not, but then they're going to hit me up a month later, hit up our support a month later. Hey, my site seems down. I'm not sure what happened. Well, we'll ask, did you keep the plugins updated? Well, no. Did you keep the theme updated? Well, no. Well, did you use a secure password? Well, I used password 123. Well, that's why you're having issues, is you didn't properly secure your installation. So the more I can sit on this mic all day and preach, but the fact of the matter is a lot of people just still won't do it. So at least adding Wordfence is going to continually to email you. Each day it's going to email you if you have something that's not updated and say, hey, you need to come update this. Because if you don't update plugins, you don't update themes, you don't keep WordPress updated, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. Because it's going to happen, but just when is it going to happen? There is hackers and bots and stuff out there that crawl all day long. They crawl the internet looking for out-of-date plugins, out-of-date themes, out-of-date WordPresses. And they can figure it out by the way the code is manipulated in the web browser. So they're actually crawling through these pages and they can figure out the way the code is, what version you're using. There's a bunch of other ways they can figure it out. I mean, some of these guys and gals are pretty smart. So using Wordfence will help you keep you protected. It's not the only thing now, but it is another layer. It's another line of defense to keep you safe. I highly recommend it. It's the second plugin I add to all of my WordPress sites. You can look, they've got a live feed of the attacks they block. So look, they're blocking like 2 million attacks an hour, 1.7 million, 1.6 million. So, you know, they know what they're doing. And I'm happy with the Wordfence team. I mean, kudos to them. They've done a great job with this plugin, great job keeping it updated. And I really can't say that I've had too many issues with hacking on my website since I added Wordfence to them. And again, the free version is good for the most part. You can add these features if you run into them and start needing them. If you ask questions in the to our support team, a lot of times they'll say, well, we recommend, installing Wordfence, just another line of defense to keep your site safe. I know after our team, we offer a WordPress cleaning service for those that have WordPress that got injected with malware and stuff. And part of our cleaning service is after we clean your site, we add Wordfence to it so it won't go back that way. So again, I highly recommend them. Make sure you do install them on your site, on your WordPress. Use the free version. If you need to upgrade later, you can. Just another layer of defense to keep your website fast, safe, and secure. To help accomplish our goal here at NameHero, and that's to offer our web hosting infrastructure like no other. Let me know, or ask your questions on this video or on the blog post that I'm going to put it in. I would be more than happy to help you out. But thanks so much for watching, and good luck keeping your WordPress website safe and secure.